Good morning, grade 4. Welcome back to grade 4 mathematics class. How are you all doing today? So let's start a new chapter today, chapter 4. It's called division. So look at the picture given here. Do you see a cake? You can see one whole cake is divided into equal parts. How many parts are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there is this one whole cake divided into 8 equal parts. So here you are dividing a whole object or an item into equal parts. When you do that, you call that as division. So distributing or separating a whole item or a group of items into equal parts is called division. And we use a symbol to represent division in mathematics. This is the symbol that we use for representing division. First a dot, below that a dash, then again a dot under. So that number or that whole that you are dividing, that is called the dividend. So the number that we are dividing into equal parts or groups, that is called the dividend in a division. And the number of groups that you are forming or the number with which you are dividing, that's called the divisor. So the number of groups we make or the number with which we are dividing, that's called the divisor. Now the quotient, the result we get after the division or the number of items in a single group, that's called the quotient. So what is a quotient? The result we get after division or the number of items in each group, that's called the quotient of the division. And here is a division fact. The number 16 is divided by 2 and we get the result 8. So this can mean a group of 16 items of the number 16 can be exactly divided into 2 groups. And in each group there will be 8. So the number 16 when divided into 2 gives you the result 8. Here the number we are dividing, the number 16, it is the dividend. And the number with which we are dividing or the number of groups we are forming, that is the divisor. Here it is the number 2. And the result we get after the division or the number of items in each group, that is called the quotient. Here it is 8. So now I hope you are clear with the concept of dividend, divisor and quotient. Now look at the picture here. You can see 5 children here. Can we divide them into equal groups of 2 each? See, I am making them into one group. Here I am making them into second group. Now there is one child left. So when you divide the number 5 by 2, which means when you divide into 2 groups, 2 equal groups, there is one remaining. So the one remaining, that's called the remainder. So when you divide a whole item or a group of items into groups, what is remaining after the division? That's called the remainder of the division. Here it is 1. So what is a remainder? What is left over after a division? That's called the remainder. Now let's see an example of how to divide numbers using long division method. So here find the quotient and remainder of 122 divided by 5. So here we have written the numbers in a grid so as to do the long division. So the dividend, the greater number here 122, that has to be divided by 5. So the number to be divided 122, that is the dividend here. The number with which we are dividing, that is the number 5, that is the divisor here. Now let's see how we can proceed the division. So here we are going to divide with a 1-digit divisor. So check the first digit of the dividend, it is 1. Now the next step is to divide this 1 by 5. But can we divide 1 by 5? How many 5s are there in 1? Can we do that? No. So let's take the next digit also. So now the number is 12. How many 5s are there in 12? 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10, 5 3s are 15. So there are only 2 5s. So 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10. Let's write the 2 here. Now multiply the quotient and the divisor. 2 5s are 10. Write it here. Now subtract these two numbers. You get 2 here. Now bring down the next digit. and you get 2 here. So now the number is 22. Now the next step is to divide this 22 by 5. So how many 5s are there in 22? 5 ones are 5, 5 2s are 10, 5 3s are 15, 5 4s are 20, but 5 5s are 25. So we can take only 5 4s. So let's write 4 here. Now 4 5s or 5 4s are 20. Subtract the two numbers and you get 2 here. So that is the remainder. So 122 is the dividend here, 5 is the divisor here, 24 is the quotient here, and 2 is the remainder here. So what are the steps? Since we are dividing with a 1-digit divisor, check the first digit of the dividend. It is 1. Is 1 divisible by 5? Can we divide 1 by 5? How many 5s are there in 1? We cannot divide 1 by 5. So in that case, take the next digit also. So now the number is 12. How many 5s are there in 12? 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10, 5 3s are 15. So we don't need 5 3s. So we can take 5 2s here. So let's write 2 here. 5 2s are 10. We subtract these 2. We get 2 here. And we have to bring down the next digit. So what is the process? Divide, multiply, subtract, and then you have to repeat the process. So now we have 22 here. You have to divide 22 by 5 now. So how many 5s are there in 22? 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10, 5 3s are 15, 5 4s are 20, 5 5s are 25. So we don't need 5 5s. We need only 5 4s. So 5 4s are 20. So we wrote 4 here and we wrote 20 here. Now we subtract the numbers and we get 2 here. Now are there any more digits to bring down? No. So since there are no more digits to bring down, we stop the division right there. We got the quotient 24 and the remainder is 2. So how do you check if this division was done correctly? Imagine the 122, the number 122 is a group of 122 items. Now you are dividing that by 5, means you are dividing that into 5 equal groups. And what do you get here? 24. That is the number of items in each of these 5 groups. And when you are done with the division, there are 2 remaining. So you can say the number 122, this is made up of 5 groups of 24 each plus 2. So what is the total number when you have 5 groups of 24 each? That means 24 into 5, and that gives you 120. Add 2 to it, that is you get 122. So when you have 5 groups of 24 each, you have a total of 120 plus 2 and you get 122. So you can say this number 122 here is made up of 5 groups of 24 each plus 2. So you can apply this to check if your division was done correctly in any division. What you have to do? You have to multiply the quotient and the divisor and add the remainder to it, and if you get the dividend, then the division was done correctly. So what is that formula? The quotient into divisor plus remainder should give the dividend. In the previous example, we saw we multiplied 24 into 5, we got 120 plus 2, that gave us 122. So in that case, the division was done correctly. So keep this formula in your mind. The quotient into divisor plus remainder should give the dividend. If so, then the division was done correctly. So I hope this is clear to you. The children, you have to go through all these topics once again. There are a few questions given in the Let's Recall exercise. Make sure you work them all out. Now in the next page, page number 52, you can see a heading, Maths Around Us. So you please go through that as well. So that's all for today, children. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, bye.